All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Drums and Drams. We're going to cut out that first 15 seconds because I had the wrong microphone connected to the app that I'm using to stream here. So I thought this was some news worth sharing with everybody related to the 2025 Stagg batches for the year. Now, if you guys remember back to 2024, we saw 4 batches of Stagg hit: batch 24A, 24B, 24C, and 24D, and there was kind of a rush at the end of the year. I don't think anybody really expected batch 24D. It's funny, built-in 5-minute grace period is ingenious, says Sam. I don't think anybody saw batch 24D coming last year, and so this year, it took us till like a month ago to see batch 25A starting to hit. And so I picked it up, not thinking too much of it. Batch 25A, in case anybody's wondering, is 126.5 proof, so we're in the lower proof range for this. But after this dropped, I thought to myself, you know, there's probably only going to be one more batch of Stagg this year, right? Because we're getting to the end of the year. 2 batches a year seems like what used to happen with Stagg, and then last year suddenly we get 4. Well, 2 weeks after I get 25A, 25B comes out, right? 25B hits secondary. Like, okay, well, this has got to be it for the year, right? Batch B coming in at 126.9 proof. And of course, after that happens, 25C shows up on secondary last week. And I'm like, all right, I've had enough of this. Because this year, not only do we now have at least 3 batches of Stagg, but we've seen 2 different batches of E.H. Taylor barrel proof that dropped at the exact same time. Technically, it's considered batch 14, but there's 127.2 and 127.4 proof for E.H. Taylor barrel proof, and I'm starting to wonder what is going on with Buffalo Trace. You know, is this something where they're just dumping similar barrels at the same time and calling it, you know, the same batch, but there's different proofs? Like, what exactly is going on here? So after I picked up batch 25C, which is the lowest proof batch of Stagg ever at 125.6, this just came in yesterday. After I picked this up, I decided to, you know, send an email to Buffalo Trace. And so I wanted to share that email with you guys. I'm just wondering, like, you know, is there going to be a D batch? And so I don't know that this is super revelatory, but at least it's worth mentioning to everybody, because as I look at the batches of Stagg this year, I'm wondering, when should I go ahead and blind these things? When should I make my blind review of all of the batches for 2025? And so here's what we've got. I emailed a couple days ago, and I said, hi there, wondering if you can tell me how many batches of Stagg will be releasing this year. It seems that I've seen 25A, B, and C in the last few weeks. Will there be a D batch in 2020, like in 2024, excuse me? And I've taken the name out of this person, this consumer engagement associate, but it says, Cameron, thanks for your question, glad to help. We do have another batch about to be ready, but I don't know if it will be 25D or 25A. So I'll leave this on the screen for a second. You guys can look at it. What this makes me wonder is how much thought is really going into this stuff over at Buffalo Trace. Because of the E.H. Taylor thing, where we're looking at 2 different proofs for the same batch, what I'm really wondering is, like, are they pre-planning these things? Is there a rhyme or a reason to what they're doing with these batches? Or is it something where they're just like, let's just dump similar barrels and let's just get enough product out there, and if the proofs are a little different, maybe that's kind of the strategy? Because for them to not know if it's going to be a D batch for this year or an A batch for next year seems to me like a lack of planning. Now, however, this could totally have to do with the flood and logistical challenges, distribution. It could have a lot of different reasons. But I think it is worth kind of mentioning this. Like, there may or may not be a 25D batch, and it's crazy to me that all of these have come out probably in the last 6 weeks, with B and C being in the last 3 or 4. Just kind of a weird thing from Buffalo Trace. Thought I would mention that to you guys. Now, if we do have a D batch this year, we don't know the proof of it yet. I'll go ahead and put all of these back up on the screen just so you can read all the proofs that we have this year. Previously, the lowest proof batch was batch 23C. 23C was 125.9 proof. And now, with the addition of these 3 batches this year so far, batch C is now the lowest proof, batch A is now the 3rd lowest proof, and batch B is the 4th lowest proof. So all of the proofs of all of these Stagg batches are following the trend that we're seeing also with Elijah Craig barrel proof, and they are falling. It is what it is, just something that I thought I would share with you guys. So that's going to do it for this quick little bourbon news update. Yeah, still a month and a half left in the year. We might get a D batch, we might not, but at this point, after tasting these, which I'm going to dive into more detail in some reviews coming up here on the channel and some blind flights, I think the quality's suffering too. I don't think it's just the proof dropping. I don't think it's just what seems like a bum rush of batches all at once, which makes me wonder how carefully these are curated, if at all. But the proof, not only the proof, but the quality seems to be falling as well. So there you go, guys. Quick little update for today. Get back to your football. And I'm going to go, after this live stream uploads, I'm going to cut out the first 30 seconds where my mic was not working. Cheers, and I'll see you guys soon here on Drums and Drams.